Grand Risings, today is Tuesday, January 4th, and this is your Shekinah Wisdom Podcast. Today, my lovelies, I want to talk to you about the uncomfortability of when you decide to take your mask off. When you take your mask off, people are going to start looking at you strange. Not so much that they don't like how you look without your mask on, but more of that you look different. You're not moving the same way you used to move. You're not talking the way you used to talk. You're not the same old you, and that is going to make people uncomfortable. But guess what? Let them get uncomfortable. Why? Because this is about your growth and evolution. And as you grow and evolve, you stimulate changes in other people. And as we stimulate these changes in ourselves and in one another, there will be a global change, and we can start uplifting the frequency of the planet. You know, it's often said, if you do the same things, expect the same results. So are the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis giving you the results that you truly desire? If not, why don't you simply change what you're doing? Life is supposed to be fulfilling. It's supposed to enhance who you are as an individual so that we can find the broken pieces and fix them as necessary. I know when I first started going on my journey of healing and when I first took off my mask, people didn't like it. They wanted me to put it back on because it demanded them to remove theirs in order to speak to me, right? Because the way my mask has my face is, since I removed my mask, that I have to see you. We have to be on the same eye level. So that requires you removing your mask as well. And some people are not comfortable with removing their mask. And that's okay. You know, that's not something for the faint of heart. You know, it's something that you have to develop a strength to even do. Isn't that crazy? Doesn't it sound bizarre that in the world that we live in today, you cannot just be you? That in order for you to be accepted in society and not want to get canceled, you have to conform to everybody's notion of reality. And no matter how far off it may seem and how misguided things are, see, I really feel the problem with society in its current state is the way the youth are being reared. See, before, there was a time where the youth were reared by those who had wisdom of the ages. Now, the youth are raising themselves. And now that they have cracked the current economy and things like that, they're looking at what do I need you for? I'm doing better at this thing called life than you are. And guess what? That's by design. Our children are supposed to be our evolution. That's not something that we are supposed to be intimidated by. No. But we are supposed to provide them guidance by giving them intel on the things that we have already done so they can help us remove the lead from the paint. But we can't allow them to do that if we're fearful of giving up power. It's not about giving up power. It's about shifting it into the proper hands. See, before there was a whole thing where, because you were elder, that automatically made you right, and you did not have to listen to younger people. Then it shifted to, I'm young and I have ideas that are innovative, and I know that the old people could benefit from the wisdom that I've obtained here on my journey and previous journeys. And when you see the interaction of the young and old in a proper light, you have a progressive society. But as long as the society is set up the way it is right now, we have no councils, we have nothing. Everything is like a free for all. And one thing I loved, I read this book called Spirit of Intimacy. Look that book up. It is about the Yoruba culture. And when I read that framework, I was so impressed by the system that they created in order to nurture their citizens. It was so heartwarming to me. Check that book out if you haven't read that book. But all this to say is that we can create whatever reality we want, but we have to participate in it. We have to help one another create that reality. Why? Because the reality is built on a collective consciousness. So if the collective consciousness is hurt, battered, going through trials and tribulations, guess what you think the state of the world is going to be? And for some, the world being in chaos is an advantage to them, and in a sick way, but because they're not looking at the overall picture. When you do not teach the fundamentals of the natural law, the universal laws, you'll have a society that does not respect themselves or the planet. We have to know and understand that there was laws that governed this planet before we came here. Forget the little laws that we create that are ridiculous based on our prejudices and other silly things. Let's look at the laws that were built off of the natural laws so that we can all live in harmony. Those laws have been negated, and we got to get back. We got to get back to our original function. There is no way that we can survive doing the current things that we're doing. And some people are okay with that because they already know their death date. So they're not concerned about anybody else, because some cells in the body are cancerous, and the cancerous cells know that there's going to be a time where they have to vacate the body. So what do? Before they vacate, they get as many cells to turn over the cancerous cells as possible so they can win the fight. As in heaven, so below, right? You see themes in nature replay itself. That's why it's good to just sit out in nature and take it all in so you can actually see these things in action and start applying them to your life. Because the answers are there if you take the time to look. But we've been so caught up in survival mode that we don't take the time to look. Or we've been so caught up in trying to impress the next person that we don't see what's going on. It's time to heal. It's time to heal. So join us on our healing journey. You can head over to ShekinahWisdom.com. You can book an appointment. You can head over to True Evolution Tarot and subscribe. That's my new tarot for the oracle readings, which will be followed after this podcast. And I want you to heal. And whatever way I can help facilitate your healing, I'm here to do so. Now, if you need art therapy, you can head over to IAMcollection.com. And if you simply want to support the work we're doing here, you can cash out Unearthing of Truth. Or you can head over to Shekinah Wisdom website and click the donate tab. But whatever it is you do, my lovely, today I want you to do it in a way that brings out your highest good. All right. You have a wonderful, happy Tuesday.